what we are going to see in this video is that civil services examination, preliminary examination 2021. But what we will check in this video is that how do you solve inside the hall. That is, there are 3 stages of examination. Like, you will have easy question, you will have logical question, you will have again a difficult set of question. So many had asked this question of or doubt of how do you approach this difficult question inside the hall. So how do you approach this difficult question, and what to mark in the initial time periods of the examination. That is, how do you mark this easy question is what so that we gain confidence for solving these logical question is what we will see in this video. So this will be the whole purpose of this video, and we'll go one by one. And if you look at it, the first question that UPSC 2021 question paper has is about the Reserve Bank of India, and the governor. What they say is that the governor is appointed by the central government. Okay, it seems valid, but what you have to check is that the second statement says the Constitution of India. So certain provisions of the Constitutions of India or Constitution of India can issue directions to the RBI in public interest. See whether this can be done, or directions can be given, but whether any specific article is present in the Constitution is what we need to check. But this will be the first step. It is like playing cricket. So in cricket, so first step is defense. So unless and until this happens to be an easier question, I would not approach this question, but I would just have a look at this. See, when you remove 2, so this is the point, when you remove 2, the answer comes to this position. But I will wait for a better, easier question so that I can have more confidence while marking. Next question will be about casual workers employed in India. All casual workers are entitled for provident fund coverage, and all casual regular working hours, overtime payment, okay, establishment of industries only through bank account. See here, if you think about it, whether EPFO, see this I am not sure about this fact. So while solving whether all casual workers are entitled to this EPFO, I am a little bit hesitant to mark that. But at this point, so this point, if you think about it, 2 and 3, India being a welfare state, so that is the key point. So it's not like whether I know this law or something. Rather, India is a welfare state where we have this DPSP. So what comes to my mind is that this labor protection is very important in India, and because of this, maybe 2 and 3 will come, maybe. So it is maybe. So I will not go for this question as well initially. But when I come to this question, third question, look at this question. Which of the following steps for economic recession? This is the point. So for improving economic recession, what you have to take. And if you look at this point, see very clearly it is given, that is cut in tax rate, or increase in tax rate, or reduction in expenditure. See, all these will, if you have money for economic recession, you have to increase it, or to come out of economic recession you have to increase it. But cut in tax rates, or increase in interest rates, not cut in tax rates, increase in interest rate, increase in tax rate, reduction in expenditure, all these things, if you think about it, will reduce the money in the money market, or not money market, money supply. So when you reduce it, this economic recession cannot be it cannot be done. But if you think about it, this option, the increase in expenditure in public projects. So look at this fact very clearly when you are looking at this. So increase in expenditure on public projects. So this, when you see whether this is true, so yes, so look at it very closely. It increases money supply. This is the easy question that I would attempt first. So whether 1, 2, so I'll skip 1 and 2, but I'll not I'll not leave these questions. 1 and 2, if you check it, I have solved these questions, but I am not marking these questions in the paper. But what I will do for solving UPSC question paper is that I'll go for this third question, and only then I'll start thinking about other things. Next question is fourth question. So here you look at this question. This is a question like anyone who had see, it can be solved in many ways. But if you think about it, this is actually microeconomics, or there are two books in. So you don't have to read that, but just telling you, this is microeconomics concept. There is, we in NCRT we read this macroeconomics only, but this is a microeconomics concept. But look at this fact very clearly. A product is there, so the market demand of a good might increase. See, this is the key word that you should know. They are talking about a product. So let us assume that the product is maybe a mobile. So one example, very simple example, is mobile. So if there are two mobiles, so let us assume that there are two mobiles. One is Apple, one is Samsung. So if you are looking at it, when the remaining everything is unchanged, when a product's demand will increase means, see, if it is the price or the price falls. So very closely you watch it. Let us assume that there is another version. So Apple has another version of its phone. So Apple i12. So now it has gone, I think, 13. So when it goes for 13, so you should know that when it goes for 13, so the 12 will fall. So this will that is the price will fall. So many would actually go for the Apple 12 that is there. So this will be there. So 4 is, so I'll come here. So everything has 4. So all these things have 4. So then what I will think about is that whether this is the point. So complement, substitute. There are two words here. So complement, if you think about it, complement is maybe so any gadget associated with Apple, or so when does the demand for Apple increase means, see, that is the point. So there will be a complement, maybe Apple, maybe earpod or something, so headset or something. So you just have a look at it. So this will be the complement. But when does a demand for an Apple iPhone will increase is that it's not when the Apple earpod increases. The demand will increase when Samsung increases its price. So when the same price is there for Samsung and Apple, and the Samsung increases its price, it substitutes. So the price of it substitute, it increases in price. It actually the demand for Apple i12 will increase. So if you look at this very closely, now look at this option. So in this option, I think this will be there. And this is an I think this question can be solved easily, and I think this we can mark. So while marking these questions, so 3 and 4, 1 and 2 I have not marked yet. I'll come back to those questions, but 3 and 4 seems a little bit of good, and hence I will mark those questions. Now come to this question of point of urban cooperative banks in India. They are supervised and regulated by state governments. Whether they can, see, this is the point, they can issue equity share, preference share. They were brought under the purview of Banking Regulation Act through an amendment. See, these I think I am not aware of this and this. I know what these things are, that is equity shares and preference shares, but whether they can be issued by urban cooperative banks, I am not sure. But at this point, so look at this point, this is by state government is what they say, but it is by RBI. But this is also not an easy question, so I will not mark directly. But what I feel is that, what I feel is that this is not true. The statement 1 is not true, and hence if you think, so remove statement 1, all these will go, and this is what is there. So what I would do is that I will solve this using this method, but I will not mark it in OMR. So because I am not sure whether I am not sure about these two statements. I am not sure about whether only state government or RBI. All these things have to be taken into consideration before marking the in the OMR. And the next thing, if you look at it, Indian government bond yield. So there is a G. There are so many T bills. So G's government security is there. So how does this yield increase or influence? It is not increased, influence. So actions of United Federal Reserve, Reserve Bank of India, inflation and short interest rate. See, in simple terms, these things will increase or will be influenced because of money supply. See, when there is a money supply in the market, and these things will actually increase their the market demand for these tools of government bonds will be increased or decreased based on the money supply. And if you think about it, all the things that are there, all the things that are listed here, see, all the things that are listed here, 1 2 3, all these things, 1 2 and 3, all these influence money supply, and hence you can take it for a fact that these three are present, and 3 is the answer. And this is also an easy question, but I will not mark this question. See, I will have to again recheck. See, it is not like this question which we marked. So these two questions, 3 and 4 are confirmed, so I have marked this. But bond yield are all conceptual questions which we have to have a little bit of understanding before we mark. And next question, look at this question. It is about this foreign direct investment. It is a constantly asked question, and hence we should have been aware of this question. And here this non-resident external deposit. See, this is the fact that you should know. NRI deposit, that is this deposit which is there, I don't think it is an FDI. See, any FDI is an investment. So very in clear terms, it is an investment. This is deposit, correct? So when you are depositing something, we have to give it back. So when you have to give it back, how can it be something as an investment? So this is not true. See, look at this. This is not true. So answer lies between these two questions or these two things. And when any simple thing or any simple so 1 2 3, see, you have to make 3 is already there. 3 is already there. Now you have to make sure whether 1 and 2 is present. But any normal book would have given you this concept for in institutional investment. That is, any investment would be correct, or this will be the FDI which is present, and hence if you think about it, this 1 2 3 will be the answer. And this is an easier question that you should mark, because FDI happens to be an question that keeps repeating, and you should have been aware of this question. Next, come to this question of devaluation. Which of the following statements, so which of the following statement is correct, they ask. So they are not asking about any other non-correct statement, they are asking correct. So what the effect of devaluation of currency, or the effect of devaluation of a currency is that it improves the trade balance, it increases the foreign value of increases the foreign value of the domestic currency, it improves the competitiveness of the domestic export in foreign markets. So if you improves the trade balance, see whether this is true, you should check it now. So whether the trade balance of any so if you just to look at this this point, trade balance is the equation is export minus import. So in a sense, export and see, when you are devaluing your currency, your export increases, but at the same time you have to pay a higher import price. See, oil, if you are importing, so we import 80% of the oil. Your exports are increasing, true, you are devaluing your currency, your exports are increasing, but at the same time imports are also increasing. So whether this statement is true, it's a questionable thing, right? So these two will go away. Now you have to check one is true, then one is true. Two, you have to check, increase this the foreign value of domestic currency. See, you are devaluing, devaluation means decreasing, so that is decreasing, no, this is wrong. So answer is this. So I will actually mark this question as well. See, this is an easy question as well, this question needs to be marked. So this question, see, all these questions one by one, when you check it, not every question should be marked immediately. The questions which are relatively simpler and easier to understand and have, that should be marked. See, next question is black money, which is the main cause of worry. This is something which is understanding based question. Why black money is an important or major cause of main cause? See, look at this, this is the key word, main cause. So now you come to this option, diversion of resources to purchase real estate, it is a problem. Okay, unproductive, yes, it is a problem. Donation of large to political parties, it is a problem. But if you think about it, why government is worrying is because of loss of revenue to the state, and this is also an easy question which you should mark. This should not be left alone. See, this is the point. All these questions when you mark is where you will have this confidence of this is the point. So how do you get confidence while solving preliminary examination is that you mark these questions initially. So you should not see, again I have seen somebody, they will solve all these questions. So how they will do is that they will solve all these questions and mark in the OMR in the last 30 minutes. See, this does not work, this will not work, don't do this, this is not the method. The method is, see, understand this, there are tough questions like many other questions. Urban cooperative banks is a tough question, but at the same time this devaluation question is an easy question that you should mark. We will come, see, again one more fact that you should understand, this question I am not leaving unsolved, this question I am solving. See, this is something which you should understand. I am solving this question, but it is like the judgment is there, but it is reserved for a later date. That is what you should understand. Next is the most inflationary. This is a repeated question. Most inflationary in India, or anything, any government, any government, which is the most inflationary step, and without anything, see, without, this is a repeated question. This is a, I think it is already a question which was asked, I think in 2012 or something, 2012 or 13. So the printing of more money, see, the most inflationary is printing more money, right? That is creating more money. This is without any backing. See, when money supply in the market is increased, there should be assets backing it. Only when assets back this money supply, you will have this proper thing. But this printing of money, creating of money is actually inflationary. So this is the key that you should know, and this is this is the answer. And this also I should mark, this I will mark, because it's an easy question. I can mark this question, I can have a lot of confidence, see, marking inside the hall, if you see, it will give you a lot of confidence when these questions are marked. What is the money multiplier? So what is the money multiplier that is there? If you think about it, what is money multiplying? So in a sense, see, you have to multiply. In simple terms, you have to multiply the money. So that is the key. So increase in cash reserve ratio in the bank. See, when you increase CRR, the money supply goes low. it does not multiplies, or there will be less money for increasing or giving out. Increase in statutory liquidity ratio increasing means you will have low money for lending out. Increasing the banking habit, okay. So you will have this two. Look at this point now. Again, now look at this whole thing. So now these two, it is here is the answer lying. Whether increase in banking habit of the people, increase in population, it's a question that you should now address. Now see whether I will mark this. No, I will now see this is not true. I will make sure that this is not true, this is not true. Now the answer lies between these two things. So when the answer lies between these two things, I will come back. See, that is the point. So I have solved these two things. I have solved these. This is not there. Now I have to find answer for these two, and hence what I will do is that I will come back again and I will solve this question. But now for now, whether I will mark this question, no, I will come back only and mark it. Now the next question is, so let us assume the next question is, what is that? Next question is, so Indian economy, demand pull inflation can be caused. See, demand pull inflation, it can be caused, that is increase in, see, that is the point, increase in demand of a product will cause inflation. That is same, the demand for some, let us assume that potato, so potato or onion, so there is always this problem of increase in demand for onion or potato or something. So when that happens because of lack of supply side, okay, that is actually supply, sorry, that is supply problem. That is not a demand problem, but the supply side constraint. But any product, so if you have any product which you have the demand increasing, which of the following can be the because of that? See, rising, there is one point here, rising interest rate. See, interest rate when it increases, so look at it, interest rate when it increases, it decreases money. It decreases money. When money is decreased, how will you demand something? The key is that when money is decreased, how will you demand something? You demand something because you have higher money. You will not demand something because you have lower money. But rising interest rate demands or decreases the demand. So now look at this option. See, I think questions like this can be marked because in this question, this is the only thing that you should know, and the answer directly comes as A. And this is the point. This is also an easy question that needs to be marked, and you can easily think about scoring all these things. If you think are easily scorable things that anyone should attempt, and then they should invest time in this. And next comes this problem of retail investment. This is a current affairs question, but this is a tough question. See, whether retail, that is the point. Treasury bills, Government of India debt bonds. In a sense, if you remember this question of bond yields. So remember this question of bond yields. There was a question. So look at this. This bond yield. This question was similar to, or not similar, it's the treasury bills. So bond yield mean government bond yield. But whether retail, this is the point, whether retail investors are involved in this negotiated system dealing, the central depository receipt, whether is promoted by Reserve Bank of India. And see, these are all very tough things. I do not know. I am not aware of these things. But this is a current affairs question. Earlier, if you see, retail investors were not allowed, but retail investors are now allowed. But this is a difficult question. For me. Maybe for anyone else, maybe they will know this answer. But for me, while solving this question paper, I felt this is a difficult question, so I will not mark this question. I'll go to the next question. So look at this point, water credit. So water credit, so I will go for this question. It will be purely based on these words. Water credit with the following reference, which of the following is correct? The point is that I am not sure about what water credit is, or what is this organization, or whatever things, but I will read these things. See, microfinance tools, so I'll read these things. Microfinance tools to work in water. See, water credit, maybe this statement is true. This statement is true. Whether this then there is another statement, initiative of World Health Organization and World Bank. Whether this is true, I am not sure. Then enable poor people. So look at this point, enable poor people to meet their water needs. See, this two statements. So look at this statement, this and this, 1 and 3 are complementary. So like the microeconomics question, this 1 and 3 actually are together. They read together, so it should be true. So 1 and 3 should be true, but there is also 1 and 3 here, 1 and 3 here. So now you are stuck between C and D. Now I have to make a decision between whether C and D, but I will not mark this, but I would refer to one point. See, look at this point. Look at this point very closely. It is a water credit. See, water credit organization. What does World Health Organization have it? Or there can be, see, water credit, yes, actually World Health Organization, for improving sanitation they can do. That's also a very important fact, but it's a confusing question. I will not mark this question. I will come back to this question again. So what is this lender of last resort? So that you should know. Central banks lender of last resort. See, while solving this question, lending to industry, trade and industry when they fail to borrow from, and primary lending to government finance to providing liquidity to banks having it. See, the lender of last resort of RBI, it is for bank. I don't have think that it is for industry. That is any industry, they have so many avenues, they can borrow from anywhere. I don't think industry plays any role in this lender of last resort. This is wrong. And then whether it is for providing government deficit, no, this is also wrong. So I think the answer is B. And while marking this question, this is the point, whether this will be marked. It will be it is a logical question, so I will actually not mark this. Maybe I will come back to this question again, but now coming back to this next question. Next question is R2 code of practices. See, when R2 code of practices constitutes a tool for promotion of adoption of, in this if you look at it, ecological management of wetlands international, this is not true. And sustainable practices in agricultural crops, this is also, I think, degraded lands, this is also not true. Exploitation of natural resources, this is also not true. Or how I would see is this being better than, see, this is the point. What I would suggest is that, see, look at this, what I while solving this will feel is that A is greater than R2 code of practices, A is greater than, D is greater than, C is greater than B. This is how I would assign weightage for these options. So it will be based on the logic of this that I would approach, but I would not mark this question because it happens to be a question. So let us assume that I am not exactly sure. I will come back to this question, so I will not mark this question now. Next we will go to this, or I will go to this question where it is talking about this copper smelting plant. See whether it may release carbon monoxide into the environment, copper slag, leaching some heavy metals into the environment. sulfur dioxide, see that was the issue, no? I think in Thuthukudi you would have known about this Vedanta or this sterilite, sterilite issue which was happening, and as a result of which what was released, it sulfur dioxide, it was released. So this is true, and because of heavy elements also true. Carbon monoxide, yes, it may be released, but whether, see, this is the point I would actually differ, or I would think about. See, look at this fact, whether it releases. See, this is the point, this is the word I would get stuck, because 2 and 3 is there, 1 2 3 is also there, so B and D will be there. So I would not mark this question, but this happens to be a very doubtful thing. Like, for example, see this water credit. When I read this, water credit, okay, but World Bank, okay, whether World Health Organization can be there. Very closely when I look at it, this World Bank happens to be something, okay, micro credit, water credit, it is possible, but whether this WHO is present is what we have to now look at. But anyways, we'll come back to those things again. This will happen, and then I will go to this furnace oil. So what is this furnace oil?